I think that was the best job walking I've ever done. One shot. I'm all excited. How's everyone doing out there? You guys doing good? Welcome back from convention. That was awesome. Well, today we have a special guest. It is Wilco. He is from Dallas, Texas. And Wilco, are you in the RE Tech Auditorium? If you are, come on up here. Make sure he's not standing behind me. Are you coming up, Wilco? There he goes.
Yeah,
oh,
I'm in a cowboy outfit. Yeah.
I like it since you're from Texas, huh? Come over here and stand by me, man. Look at that. You are from Dallas. Let me hear that Texan accent again. Let me hear your voice.
Yeah, I'm still working on it. You know, how y'all doing?
Awesome. Now, Wilco, where are you from? What is your nation of origin?
So, I'm originally from Holland. Came to the States about 25 years ago on a soccer scholarship. Went to West Virginia Wesleyan, and then I got drafted by an indoor team here in Dallas. And that's how I got to Texas. And they always tell me to say that I got to Texas as fast as I could.
That's awesome. So you were actually paid to play soccer for a while, right?
Yep. Yeah, did that for about 3-4 years, a couple of different places. And, you know, I was really drawn to the United States because of the entrepreneurial spirit, the land of opportunity, the American dream, so to say. And I got into youth coaching, and I did that for about 10 years. And I built a youth club with about 60 teams and about 25 coaches that were working for me.
Wow. So how many soccer players is that altogether?
Gosh, that's about 15 to 18 players per team.
Times 60. So you had what, 800-900, if I'm doing the math right? Something like that?
Yeah, I had, I was, you know, I didn't know it at the time, but I was living a parallel lifestyle to a little real estate brokerage.
Called eXp.
And I was recruiting coaches, I was recruiting players, building teams, building systems, and all that stuff.
Wow. You know, I never really thought about that, but that's true. So that was, you know, most people have this big real estate background and they're top agents or even they're brand new agents, or they run teams. Like I ran a team, but you ran a team, but it wasn't a real estate team. It was really a soccer league. You built an eXp of soccer, so to speak, you know, right?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I had this mindset that, you know, to be successful, you have to be in business for yourself. And I don't know if you're all slow quadrant, but, you know, Robert Kiyosaki has the E, the S, the B, and the I on the left side of the quadrant, which is the employee, and the self-employed quadrant, which essentially means you're trading time for money. And I did that for 10 hours a week, and I just didn't feel like I was getting anywhere.
How many hours a week?
I was working 60 hours a week. I was coaching 4 hours a day from 5 till 9, Monday through Thursday. You know, I think, you know, 4 or 5 hours on Saturday, 4 or 5 hours on Sunday. And I've got a family, and I just got burnt out. I was just done. I was like, man, I never see my family. You know, I'm working myself to death. And whenever I would stop working, you know, so I was like, what am I doing? It just all of a sudden hit me one day, and I just didn't see myself getting anywhere. I just saw myself, you know, 5-10 years down the line doing exactly the same thing. Yeah.
My soccer coach in high school coached soccer for 50 years, and it's just that proverbial treadmill. And the second you try to take a break, I bet you when you didn't continue to recruit agents and players and coaches, your income took a hit for it, right?
Well, yeah, and you know, I had to do so much administrative work, you know, so I was working in the mornings, fielding things, and then I was filling phone calls for all the agents. I'm sorry, not all the agents, but the coaches. Right. But it was literally like running a brokerage. It was exactly the same thing. I talk to brokers all the time now, And it is hard work, you know, it is, because you got to do it all. You got to get all the systems set up. You got to do it all.
Wow. So for everyone to just come in the room, man, we just shot up to 111 users. I was expecting 30 or 40. I barely even got a chance to promote this. We were going all last week, but obviously you could see the bounce we're getting off convention. 113 users in the room right now. So I'm interviewing Wilco. Let me try it. Ravestijn.
That's it. It's pretty good.
I said it right. I've never, honestly, Wilco, I don't even know your last name. I've never seen it. You're just Wilco.
We can, the J is silent, so you can call me Silent J as well if you want.
Silent J, I like it. No, you've always been Wilco to me. Honestly, that's the first time I've ever even seen your last name. So for those of you just tuning in, Wilco was a professional soccer player, moved to the States 25 years ago from Holland, and he built a huge soccer organization with 25 coaches and 60 teams and like 900 players. And that's how he made his living. But he was getting burned out. And then you stumbled across eXp a couple years ago, 2.5 years ago. And the guy you bumped into, I think, was Rob Flick, right?
Yeah. So the reason I got into real estate is I wanted to have more time. I wanted to, you know, I was making really good money with my business, but I wanted more time without sacrificing my income. And during my time that I was running my soccer business, I had accumulated some rental properties. And I mean, actually, my wife and I, we just moved, but instead of selling the properties, I was like, I rent them out. So I was, in a very short period of time, I had accumulated a tremendous amount of equity. I was generating cash flow. My homes were appreciating. And I was like, this is a pretty good gig. I think I'm going to get my license, and I'm going to build a rental portfolio and build passive income. That was my goal, was to accumulate 50 homes over 5 years.
Wow. Wow. And so while you're doing that, and you develop quite a few rentals, you bump into Rob Flick. He shares with you the eXp business plan, and you immediately went, wow, this is great. Or were you skeptical? What happened?
Well, I didn't think it was going to work for me. So he shared with me what he did, you know, and he's been successful in growing big groups and things like that. But you know, I don't have the reputation that you do, Brent, or that Rob had. And so, you know, I told him, I said, Rob, you know, I don't know if this is going to work. All you have to do is just introduce me to people that I can educate. And if they like it, great. If not, no big deal. And that's literally how we started. And when I started, I thought, if I can generate $1,000 or $2,000 extra per month, I'd be pretty happy. You know? Yeah.
That's like having, how many rental properties would it take for you to generate 1,000 to 2,000 a month cash flow? How many rental properties do you think that would take?
Well, that's kind of, it's interesting you said that, because that's kind of how I looked at it. I looked at it as, you know, if I treat this like a business and I build, if I were to buy a franchise, I would have to do that anyway. I'd have to bring in agents to, you know, to build a brokerage, just kind of like what I was doing with my soccer club. And so I looked at it and I said, well, if I can help agents, get them plugged in with the eXp system and get, if you bring in a good agent, that's $2,800 a year. That's more net cash flow than what you can get with a lot of rental properties that you buy. So I was like, I might be able to reach my goal a lot faster if I bring in 50 good agents versus buying 50 properties.
Wow. Interesting parallels, a lot of parallels here. And so you got in, and your first year, how many agents did you personally sign up, having no background in real estate other than buying homes to build your real estate empire? But you weren't networked. You weren't like the local real estate guy. I mean, you look at me, I have a big team. You look at Rob, he sold franchises, did that. So I could see why you said, I don't think it'll work for me. What's the old saying? If you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them.
Yes.
So, but you said, you know what?
No, absolutely. And
yeah.
I maybe knew 5 to 10 agents that were in my network, just parents of kids that I coached or people within my network. And it really is surprising. It's one of those things when let's say you buy a new car and you think you're the only one on the road with that car. And all of a sudden you see cars exactly like that everywhere. It was kind of like, I realized I knew a lot more people in real estate than I actually thought I did. So, and we just started very simple. I just set up a couple of meetings, let's go sit down, let's meet up and talk real estate. I want to talk to you about some new strategies in real estate that might be able to help your business. That's literally how I started.
And so your first year, we'll back it up, but your first year, how many people did you enroll personally, sponsor into eXp, Wilco?
So I think my first year was probably about 20 agents.
And then, so you enrolled 20, and then you worked hard to help them get wins and to succeed and to sponsor people, acquire stock. How many agents did you have at the end of that first year?
So after the first year, I think it was about 130 after the first year.
Okay, and you've been doing this a couple years, 2.5 years, something like that, right?
Yes.
And how many, so 130, and how many do you have today? You have like 300, 400? What do you have today?
I have 37 personal, and there are over 700 agents in my group. Nice.
So for those of you coming to eXp, traditionally our historical average has been running about $1,000 an agent annually. So that should create for him. So if he let's say he ends this year with 700 agents, that should create a $700,000 income, passive income for him next year. Now we know he'll probably end the year with, what do you hope to end to? Because I'm going to tell you something that you may or may not know, Wilco. But how many agents do you hope to end 2018 with?
So I hope to end with 800 to 850.
Okay. So that when you end the year, that kind of tends to show you your income for the next year. So I'm telling you right now, Wilco, you should make, I would say, over 800 to possibly $1 million in passive revenue share income. Not to mention all the stock you acquired. How much stock were you able to acquire altogether? Do you know?
Well,
not dollar amount, but 10,000 shares, or how many shares?
So I think I have to double check, but I think it's close to between 5,000 and 6,000 shares.
Nice, wonderful. So you're a stockholder. You've got this amazing organization you met. Now, how many rental properties would you have to own to make $800,000 to $1 million a year in passive income? A lot more than 50, right?
A lot, yeah. And that's what's so amazing about the revenue share that eXp has, makes available for us, is that it's net. It's not like you have to go out and, if you want to do that, that's great. That's totally fine. There's a lot of people that still want that. But, and they're forced to pay out hundreds of thousands of dollars in overhead to support their business.
Oh, yeah.
And, that's not necessary.
Oh, yeah. When I was making a lot of money in real estate, my overhead was $128,000 a month. Is that crazy, Wilco? Now they did include a $20,000 salary for me. Hey, by the way, if you're out there, please mute your mic. Lower left-hand corner, please look at the mic, make sure it is muted. If you're on your cell phone, please hit the mute button on your cell phone. Again, for those of you on your cell phone that are calling in, however you do that, mute your cell phone, please. All right, Wilco, so let's back it up a little bit. So the first year, that's all great. You have all these agents, the stock, it's all great for you. Did you know it would work, or you just like, I'm going to try this, I'm going to give it a shot? Was that your attitude when you started?
Well, I just applied the principles that I had learned in building my soccer business,
right?
To this concept. And so I would just call someone that I knew and said, hey, listen, I want to talk to you about some strategies that might be able to help you. Let's go have coffee. And I would just start like that. And then I would I would leverage Rob and other people that I was connected with, and I would just, because I didn't have the credibility that you or Rob or anybody else had, or Gene, in real estate. So my strategy was, and so I would, I would tell people, hey, I'm working on a project. I'm working on some things with some really successful people in real estate, and I want to show you some how you can leverage technology, systems, and people power to really scale your business to a whole level that you've never thought possible. And I would just meet with people and just, go through an overview with eXp, just treat it like a listing appointment. And, and that's how I would start. And what's so exciting about this is that there is appreciation. When you bring in a good agent and you support that agent and you help them build their business, there's an appreciation, just like in real estate. You buy investment properties, and hopefully as you buy smart, the marketing appreciation of the property increases as well.
So when you say appreciation, you mean you sign up agent A, agent B, agent C, as they tell other agents to other agents, the value of that agent appreciates in revenue share, or the agent appreciates you giving them the opportunity? Which appreciation are you talking about?
Well, both. If you help an agent build their business by helping them sell more homes, by helping them grow their revenue share group, they will appreciate it. You gain the benefit of your group appreciating. So if you provide good leadership and you make sure people get plugged in, and the thing is with eXp is we have such phenomenal support. We have over 280 employees, I believe, in the cloud. But agents will not just join eXp because of that. Yes, they will join eXp because of the value proposition, but they will more likely join and succeed in eXp when you stay involved in your group and you provide, I call it a tribe. Build your own tribe. You're going to have your own little culture that you're going to build with your group. So, I do little mastermind sessions with my group. If I have an agent that's doing really well with KV Core, I'll create like a little Zoom meeting and do a little agent. So, you treat it just like you would any other business. And, you make sure that people stay involved, they stay engaged, and overall your group will have more success in the long run.
That is awesome. So you had your little soccer tribe, and you built that up to 900 soccer players and close to 100 coaches and probably 1,000 people a part of that organization easily. So, you when you were a part of eXp, it was pre the webinar. You guys actually met with people and actually talked to them face to face. I couldn't imagine. I'm just kidding. But but literally you would have coffee or meet up for lunch. Now you said you only knew 5 to 7 real estate agents, so you must have burned through those the first week or 2 or 3. How did you meet the other ones? How did you do this, Wilco? You don't know anybody. You're not talking to agents every day, showing property, writing offers. You're not in that world. How did you do it?
Well, the first thing is a really, really good book called Fanatical Prospecting.
Oh, I got to read that book. I've heard that too many times.
Yeah.
But can you order me that book, Fanatical Prospecting?
This goes,
good.
Yeah, it can be applied to finding buyers, finding sellers, and finding agents. And if you are tuned in to looking for a buyer, real estate agent, you're automatically starting to see things you might not have seen before. So you might be taking an Uber. Just have a conversation. Get in the habit of talking to people. As to how many people are either a really good real estate agent, or they know a real estate agent, or they have a friend or a family. And that's basically what I was doing. I was just talking to people that I knew, and I said, hey, listen, do you have anybody that's successful in real estate? And they would connect me with them. And that's how it grew. I didn't do any, the mass emails, people are not going to join eXp just because it's another real estate company. They're going to join eXp because they have a relationship with someone that's connected with them that's going to help them join eXp. And that's really the genius behind the whole process. And eXp knows that. That's why they're paying us so much, or they're making revenue share available for us, because that interpersonal relationship is still really, really important. Nobody's going to do a transaction with a real estate agent just because it's, there's still that relationship aspect to it, right?
Absolutely. So you had a desire to succeed. How you did it in soccer. You go, I could be a professional soccer player, and you did it. You wanted to build a league, and you did it. But what is it the saying? If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you're probably right. And there's no harm in trying. And that was my attitude too. I'm like, man, I'm going to give this a shot, and it worked out huge. So what I would like to do is open this up to the audience for questions. The first, there's a little question hand that you could put up. By the way, I literally thought there'd be 30 or 40 agents in here today. There are 131 agents in the auditorium right now, Wilco. So, man, when people heard it was you, they showed up. What?
We couldn't hear you. You broke up there for a second.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
So we got 131 agents in the auditorium. I'm going to open up for questions. David, I see your hands up there. Anybody else who wants to go? David, did you have a question for us? I think that's David's hand. Got to unmute your mic if you want to ask the question. So fire away. If you have a question for Wilco, now is your chance. Otherwise, I'm going to continue to do this.
So, we got a question here in the chat box.
Okay.
So Joseph asked how long to current 800. So I have 700 in my revenue share group. And, when I joined eXp, Rob already was at like 200 agents, right? And I just could not see myself having 200 agents. I was like, there's no way it's going to happen. This is what you have to understand about eXp. The power of compounding will do what you might not think it's possible, So I just started very simple. Just bring in one. I remember telling Rob, I just want to enroll one agent. That's all. And it just grows naturally. And if you stay involved and you provide good leadership, it grows. And, just make dreams, but start simple. Just start simple. Yeah, one person at a time,
If you could do one, you could do 20, right? If you could, right. Yep. Okay, Anthony in the back there, I see your hand. Fire away, Anthony.
I just want to know one more time, how many people do you have on your first level?
37 personals, about 38.
Thanks.
Yep, and he mentioned he had 700 in his rev share troop, or over 800 in his group. The reason there's a difference there is some of those 800, they're on levels 8, 9, 10, which you don't get paid on, but I say you do, because the people on levels 4, 5, 6, and 7 get paid on them, and it totally inspires and motivates them. And if they're inspired and motivated, they'll go continue to do well, which does benefit you indirectly. So even though we only get paid on agents through 7 levels, we still benefit massively from agents that are grabbing the bull by the horns, to use the Texas term, on levels 8, 9, 10, 11. It's all good, and we want people to be successful. Donna, I see you had a question. Is that you, Donna? Fire away. Go ahead. What's your question?
What months?
You have to hold it down, probably. Or you could type your question if you want. Yeah, you might want to type. People can't hear you.
I can answer a couple of questions here in the chat.
Go ahead.
It might be easier.
Okay.
So I think Emerson has a good question here. What's your follow-up process from when they say no? Well, I usually don't have people say no. I usually have people say, wow, this is a really interesting concept. It's not right for me right now. And usually if I ask people, say, hey, listen, no problem. Are you okay if I keep you updated with some updates from the company as we grow? And usually people always say, yeah, sure, send me some info. So you just want to create, what I like to do is I like to send people little follow-up text messages, not in a pleasantly persistent way. Okay, we want to be pleasant. And you don't want to be bugging people, okay? Because then they're just going to shut you off. They're not going to listen to you. You're going to be like a ticking clock. But if you give them value, for example, we just purchased the Show Me Now app, right? There's a press release for it. Well, if you've shown someone an overview of eXp, you've educated someone, then just send them a little follow-up text. Hey, I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to send this little press release to you. And then I always end it with a little question. I'm looking for engagement. I'm looking for them to respond so that I can respond again. So I might follow it up with a little question saying something like, how's your business going? Question mark. You know, if maybe 6 months ago, hey, are you interested in taking another look at eXp? We have a lot of updates since we last met, question mark. You know, something very casual, but you're just throwing out a little hook right there, you know, just looking for engagement. And then you just want to be pleasantly persistent.
Nice. Well done. Okay, Wilco, another question. One of the questions came in, I think it was following, I'm trying to move my bar up, it vanished. When you talk to an agent for the first time, do you go right to the webinar, or do you just tell them about it, or are you building rapport? You know, when you meet them for coffee, what are you doing, Wilco? Because obviously it's working for you.
Yeah, I ask a lot of questions. So, you know, you're looking to build rapport, you're looking to, and you do that by asking questions. If you will become interesting when you are interested, right? So you want to be interested in how their business is being done. Hey, how are you doing business? Where are you focused? What area? You know, how are you lead generating? How much are you paying for lead generation tools? And then naturally through that process, and you don't want to be interrogating them back and forth. You want to give them a little feedback on your business, how you're doing, and maybe see if you can offer some value to them. And eventually what will happen, there'll be an opportunity for you to say, hey, listen, I want to talk to you about some lead generation systems that we have. So I have an appointment in 5 minutes, and I don't have that much time to get into it, but it would really be beneficial for us to get together so I can share and show you what we're doing. It could be that, or it could be, hey, I want to share with you some strategies that I'm applying to my business that might benefit you. Okay, and so, you know, your goal is to try to sit down with them and have a coffee or buy them lunch. You know, and that's your goal, is to try to get them properly educated, because realistically, let's be honest, anybody in real estate that has a real estate license, in my opinion, this is the best platform out there. And if they don't know about it, they probably are not really well educated. That's just my opinion.
Yep. So you come from the heart. People love you, man. You can see why you do well. You're interested in other people. When you're interested in other people, you're interesting. That's so good, man. I love what you have to say. Hey, real quick, Donna, we couldn't hear her, but she typed out, you know, is consistency the key? Do you do so many outbound calls a day, a week? I know I did the first year. Now I got to admit, I'm not quite like that, because I kind of did it, you guys. You don't have to do this forever. Go get 40, 50, 60, and you're done. Go get it over with. You know, Walsh and Tierney, I think they got 40 in 6 months. Just go get it done. I know Curtis Johnson just got 40 this last week, so many people at 40 get you paid on all 7 levels. Some of you are like, that looks like a mountain to you. You're trying to get 1. Just go get 1, like Wilco said, and then get to 10, then get to 20. When you hit 10, you are making money. When you hit 20, you're making a lot of money. When you get to 25 and 40, it's crazy. So Wilco, we got another question here from Clayton Getz. Did he make he just made a statement. So do you see any of the questions? We've got a couple minutes left to wrap this up. Do you see any of the questions you want to answer there in the bar?
Yeah, and this is what I would say is, persistency is important, just like your sales. Now, you work with buyers and sellers. Now you just add working your prospecting list, right? So it's all about being consistent.
Nice.
And, you don't have to enroll 100 agents in a month. People get all crazy and they start making, 50 phone calls a day. And the thing is, you lose quality. You're looking to connect, right? You're looking to, and in some cases, I might connect with someone. Maybe I'll meet them face to face. I'm not going to write them and then try to talk about eXp. You're just looking to connect with people. And then ask them lots of questions, engage, find out where their pain points are, find out where they're having success, where they might be able to improve in their business. And then follow them back up. I said, hey, listen, I really enjoyed the conversation that we had. I'd like to share what I'm doing in my business because from our conversation, I noticed you were struggling with lead generation or you were getting your broker's license, right? And so there's always, when you learn about other people, there are always different reasons why people, why it would make sense for them to learn about eXp. And this is the other thing is that a lot of people join eXp because they need lead generation. They need KV Core. Some people, they complain because they've been in real estate for 15 years. They have no retirement. Well, you just want to share with them how the eXp stock program works. And maybe they're interested in revenue share. That might not even be interest. They might not even be. I have so many agents that join eXp and they literally said, I don't like recruiting. I don't like people that try to recruit me, but I love the lead generation. Hey, that's awesome. Well, a year later, they have 40 agents in the revenue share group because they didn't join because people just asked them about it and they end up referring agents naturally. Most of us at previous brokerages have probably referred agents naturally just by talking about their company. And that can be, just a side hustle. Or you can treat it like a real business and build an entire group. You can treat it anyway. There's many, many different ways why people will join eXp.
Awesome. Awesome, Wilco. Final advice for people out there, if they're brand new, or maybe they've been in eXp for 6 months to a year and they're not experiencing the breakthroughs you're talking about, what advice would you give to somebody? Maybe they're brand new and they just really want to do this, or maybe they've been here 6 months, a year, and they're struggling. What one thing, like get the book Fanatical Prospecting and read it? I don't know. What advice do you have? We'll end with this.
Well, the first thing is you got to get plugged in with what Brent's doing. You don't have to do it all yourself. When I joined eXp, I was with eXp for 6 months before I enrolled my first agent. And
Awesome.
And part of that was because Rob did a really bad job of explaining how eXp works for me. Okay, so
I love it.
But then when he started encouraging me, hey, set up a couple of meetings. So I set up a couple of meetings and nothing was happening. And then finally I enrolled one agent, and then another one, and then another one. So you just want to, just invest 1 hour a day in your revenue share business. If you want to build this thing like a business, you don't have to go full on 11. Just invest 1 hour a day or 90 minutes.
So that the first year, how many hours a day did you invest? The first 6 months, the next 6 months? What do you think? Because most physicists will spend 8 to 10 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week. What did you do?
That's exactly what I did. I invested maybe an hour or two per day.
Wow. Wow.
On average, an hour or two. Now, there were times where I was more active. Like, let's say I have, I had Jeff and Amanda Whitespirit joining on Fridays and go do a lunch and learn for them in Houston. So obviously I'm spending a lot more time, but hours all day long making phone calls. I would set up a couple of appointments and just be consistent with that. What happens most of the time is this is like a little drip, it's small. It's a small growth over time. It's not a big $10,000, $20,000 commission check that people are working for. So sometimes you're going on a little bit of faith here that it's going to work. And that's what I went on. I went on faith because Rob had been successful. And he's like, if you do this, this, and this is good. So, and that's the only reason why I actually pursued it, because there was someone that was telling me, hey, if you do this and this, you're going to have what I have.
It's so funny. People are like, well, if I had Rob, I would have made it too. Rob, he may be slick and organized now, but he was so bad at the beginning. You didn't sponsor him for half a year, even though you had Rob Flick. That is funny to me. It is so funny.
It is. And it all comes down to belief. I've really narrowed it down to belief. If you believe it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And, I might not have had the belief in the beginning, but I had faith that it was going to happen. And then after time, I realized that Rob was building the belief in me, right? He was just encouraging me, hey, if you do this, it's going to work. And it was that simple. So you just got to find maybe an accountability partner or someone that can say, hey, are you doing, you have lead measures and you have lag measures. And is the end result. It's like playing a soccer game, okay? The result at the end of the game is the lag measure. But the lead measure, the performance of your game, is not during the game. It's how well you practice the week before. That's the lead measure. What are you doing before you get the results? If you focus on that and you have faith that the results are going to come, it's going to happen naturally. So I always tell people, nobody wants to be sold, and nobody wants to be recruited, okay? So if you call people and you focus on the lag measure, you're going to not have as much success because you're only going to be thinking about what you want, okay? So focus on everybody wants to learn and everybody loves to buy, okay? So all you're looking to do is sit down with them and help them get to the next step, which I learned from Rob. He calls it book a meeting from a meeting. So when you meet with someone, don't finish that meeting without booking up a follow-up call with Brent or someone in your group that's just going to keep them engaged. And then you just book a meeting from a meeting and you keep doing that because it's branding, right? eXp is not as well known as Coca-Cola. So, or whatever, company, it takes time for people to get comfortable with a brand new company. It might even take 7 to 8 times before someone says, okay, I've heard eXp 7 to 8 times. I've learned about eXp 7 or 8 times. Now I'm ready to go. But when someone first learns about eXp, it's new and they're testing the waters. They might not be a risk taker like the rest of us might be, right?
Absolutely. Wilco, you were a phenomenal guest today. So 2 things, everybody. Next week, I have John Dupree on. He was my favorite surprise speaker of the year. The guy blew me out of my seat. Do not miss next Monday, 11:30 a.m. with John Dupree. Wilco took 6 months to sponsor his first person. I love your story. I think you just gave a lot of people a lot of hope. And this next year, you'll make $800,000 to $1 million in rev share, and it just grows from there. So John Dupree he looks like Grizzly Adams. He's from Louisiana. If you remember the show Grizzly Adams, he looks like Grizzly Adams, but bigger. And so he's going to be on the show. You get every person in your group, have a party, get in front of your computer next Monday, 11:30. It'll be great. The other thing is, Wilco, I want to invite you to a special leadership thing we're doing in Scottsdale, and everybody in this audience is invited too. Now, to come, you have to have sponsored at least 7 people. And between me and you, if you have 5 and number 6 and 7 are filled out their ICAs, come. You know, if you have 3 and 4 filling out their ICAs, come. But this is going to be very high-level leadership. The who's who of eXp is flying in from all over the country. It's our annual golf trip to Scottsdale. I'm not kidding. We golf every morning. For you non-golfers, we go to the spa or the pool or go hiking or jeeping. We start our event every day from 3 to 6 in the afternoon. It's coming up January 14th, 15th, and 16th. It's in Scottsdale, Arizona, January 14th, 15th, and 16th. It starts Monday night at 7 p.m. with a mixer cocktail reception, a lot of fun. If you don't want to have a glass of beer or wine or whatever, there's soda, you could have a Coke. So it's not a big drinking thing, but it's going to be a lot of fun. There'll be food served. And then we're golfing and swimming and playing all day Tuesday. Then our event actually starts at 3 to 6 on Tuesday. Come for the whole thing. Get away. Wilco, I want to invite you out to be a guest speaker at that event. I think people would love to hang out with you. Is there any chance if I put you up and took good care of you and footed the bill, any chance you can fly in from Dallas and join us January? We didn't talk about this. I have no idea what you're going to say. But we're going to have hundreds of agents there, the who's who of eXp. Any chance you'll be able to make it in?
When is it? January 14th through the 16th?
Yeah, Monday, January 14th. Starts at 7 o'clock that evening. So you can actually fly in Monday afternoon. And then it's over on the 16th. You can fly out Wednesday afternoon. So it's only 2 nights. Would you be interested in coming out?
Yeah, let me check on that. I should be able to make it.
Awesome, awesome. And the rest of you, put it in your calendar. Do not miss this. The event of the year, Scottsdale, Arizona at the Marriott Desert Ridge. It's my favorite resort in the entire country. It's got a lazy river, 18-hole championship golf course called Wild Horse, jeeping, hot air ballooning, hiking, or just hanging by the pool or sleeping in and having brunch. It will be the who's who of eXp. You don't want to miss it. It will be $99 a person. The cost, we just have so many people coming, it's going to run me like 40 grand. So we are charging a whopping $99 a person to offset some of the costs. And then we will have a website where you can go sign up, but just save the date. Wilco, you were an amazing guest today. You rock. And thank you, and appreciate you coming on today, Wilco.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next Monday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific for John Dupree. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.